Welcome to Kick It Up a Notch, hosted by Megan and Jenny. We're here to bring you lively conversations, inspiring stories, and a little bit of everything in between. Whether it's life, business, or just a good laugh, we're turning up the energy and diving into what makes life extraordinary. Let's kick it up a notch. Welcome to another episode of Kick It Up a Notch. I'm Megan Thomas, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Jenny McBride. We are the best realtors here in Evansville, Indiana. Also, entrepreneurs and ladies who have started making their health a priority. We're so glad to have you back for another episode. Make sure to check out our past episodes, and please listen, follow, and subscribe.
Today, we're kicking it up a notch with Ashtin Seaton. Ashtin is an online fitness and lifestyle coach. She is an NASM certified personal trainer, as well as the founder of the highly valuable Facebook group, Fiercely Fit, Strength, Nutrition, Women's Empowerment. Her mission for this group is to create a community full of encouragement, all while providing valuable information to help you transform your life mentally, physically, and emotionally. Ashtin promotes everyone to work towards being 100% better, or 1% better every day, or 100%, whichever one you want.
Ashtin has helped over 1,100 women ditch the all-or-nothing mindset, lose 20 pounds, and build confidence in 90 days. Her Facebook community has over 6.8 thousand members. She shares recipes, workouts, monthly challenges, giveaways, and Teaching Tuesdays, talking about everything from mindset, nutrition, and throwing away the damn scale. I personally get coached by Ashtin and could spend this entire podcast talking about all the value she provides and how passionate and committed she is to this community and what she does. But let's hear from the woman herself. So Ashtin, thank you so much for being here. I know you have quite an insane schedule.
Well, thank you both for the awesome introduction. I appreciate you for having me, and I'm looking forward to this episode.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So we will kind of get started just right into it. So how did your personal journey, fitness journey start?
Yeah, so it's crazy to believe that it's been a long time ago. 5 years is a long time for me. But to put it simply, I was an athlete my entire life. I played softball in high school. I was going to actually play in college and decided not to. I'd played my whole life and made that decision that, I just wanted to go to college and have fun, right? I didn't want to go to play softball. So went to college and, to say the least, gained the freshman 30, not the freshman 15, freshman 30, because I was no longer an athlete or working towards something, and I was just having the best time. So I ate whatever I wanted, drank whatever I wanted, and I did have a great time. But after college then, and after I had graduated, was a wake-up call for me. The real world, we're working, and I just did not feel my best. And lo and behold, COVID happened. And that's when I kind of hit rock bottom. I, just definitely felt not only uncomfortable and unconfident, in myself and in my skin and how far I had let myself go, but also within my career. Like, I was at a job, had a very good job. My job actually shut down because of COVID. So, I kind of got my wheels spinning on what else can I do? Because yes, I like my job, but I'm not being fulfilled, and I wasn't being fulfilled within my physical appearance either. So I knew something had to change. So COVID was actually a really great season and time for me. I worked really hard on myself, my health. Obviously, that's where Fiercely Fit came into fruition. So that's kind of how I got the ball rolling. It was just, simply prioritizing myself and my health and my career, when COVID happened. And here we are down the road, and it's happening. I'm running my own business and I'm healthy, which is the most exciting part of all of it. I've been able to make this transformation myself.
Yeah.
Wow.
You said something really interesting. When you're an athlete in high school, and we know the demand of that, or even in college, the demand of that. And then your life changes where you don't have that anymore. And some people just quit working out completely or quit taking care of themselves. And the weight can come on so quickly, quicker than it takes to lose it,
Absolutely.
so.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was hard for me. I was always so used to like a structured routine. You go to practice, you work out, you feel yourself, you're on the go every single weekend playing, travel ball or whatever. So when I got away from that, I didn't have really anything to work towards. And like you said, it just kind of spiraled out of control faster than I realized, that it was even happening, to say the least.
Right.
As an avid non-athlete, I always assumed that people who had that athletic body, gene, figure, I'm not gonna lie, I would have thought like you would have stopped doing sports and like I just thought that was people's bodies. Like, oh, these natural athletes just have that body. You know they work for it, but I wouldn't have imagined how quickly you said it happened to you that would have happened just because your body was so used to being so fit and burning stuff off. So that's interesting how quickly it happened.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I was small. I mean, I'm 5'3" on a good day, and I was little my whole life. I mean, that was a blessing, but you're so right. Just the change in environment, being away from home, my mom no longer cooked for me. You get those like meal swipes in college where you have to eat on campus, and then you go out and you drink on the weekends, and then you eat more Papa John's pizza. Like, it just poured on so fast. And looking back, like, do I regret it? Not really. Like, I had a great time, but I wish I would have known the things that I know now about health and nutrition. So I could have prioritized myself, a little bit more so it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And what is scary is sometimes you don't realize how fast it is happening. It's like you go back and look at pictures over the last year and you're like, or you start not feeling good, but at that point I'm speaking person out. It's a little too late when you start not feeling good because then you go look back at pictures for a while. You're like, oh, this has been happening for a little while. Like it feels like it's fast, but you see pictures and that's really what kind of puts the figurative mirror right in front of you. Like, oh, we probably need to do something.
That's it.
I know that was for me. So you emphasize being 1% better every day. So how did that mindset become a core part of your coaching philosophy? Because I don't think I realized that Fiercely Fit journey sounds like it kind of started while you were in the middle of really kind of changing your health journey, not something you did way after you felt like you had it under control.
Right. So the 1% better method came from, me failing time and time again from struggling with the all or nothing mindset. And I don't know if either of you have struggled with that or the listeners, but how many of us struggle with just being perfect? I'm a perfectionist. I'm a type A type person. I never want to fail. I always want to have everything, just pristine and perfect, whether it's within my career, my job, or within my body, whatever it is that I'm doing, I want it to be perfect. So, when I was prioritizing myself and my health, that was something that I truly struggled with, was the all or nothing mindset, where if I wasn't all in, doing everything perfectly, whether that be getting my steps in, working out, drinking water, tracking my food, then I just didn't do it. I just felt very discouraged, felt like, well, this is never going to work for me because I don't know what I'm doing or how to make it all happen like these other people do. So that's kind of where it sparked. I finally got away from that mindset. And I don't know what necessarily shifted. Like during that season of life where I really started to work towards myself, I listened to a lot of podcasts, I read a lot of books. So I think just pouring into my self development helped me get to a point where I need to focus on being 1% better every single day instead of all in. And those days where you are becoming 1% better, they stack. So we're stacking wins every single day, as we are prioritizing yourself and our health in this instance. Every day that you take care of yourself and you become 1% better, we're able to get to the big picture and the big goal a lot faster. It might still take time. Let's, say it like it is. All good things do take time, but that's where that mindset shift for me kind of changed, was just getting away from feeling like I had to be perfect all the time and dealing and struggling for so long with that all or nothing mindset that I was finally fed up enough with that. Like, let's focus on being 1%, and then we're stacking wins. And before you know it, we've reached our goal that we're trying to accomplish.
I think that's the hard part, because that is the time, because everybody wants to see instant gratification, so for me, being almost 50 years old, it has taken a little bit longer for me to achieve my goals and the way that I want my body to look and everything like that. And so many people give up so quickly, I think, because they expect so much too soon.
And I think time on the other side of it, I immediately thought convenience. So sticking with something because it takes a little extra in the morning or the night before to purposefully pack what you're going to have so you're set up for success the next day. I was running super late this morning, and old me would have been like, easy peasy, I'll run and go get something for lunch. But I know I've spent this time into creating these habits and this mindset. I sat there and, again, didn't choose convenience. I chose the little bit harder, longer route, and it takes a while to get there. You have to really want it to be a choice. And I love that you are the perfect balance of grace and tough love. Find your wins, but don't be mystified by them. Realize when it's grace and when it's an excuse.
Absolutely. I think we live in a world today where we want instant gratification. We refuse to be patient for anything. We want it. We want it now, and I think it's a very negative thing. Also think too, we're not very disciplined because of that. We want that instant gratification. We want it. We want it now. So we don't work towards developing the skill of having the discipline that it takes to develop a better habit. Like you just said, you had a bad habit of convenience of going through the drive-through, which we all do. We're trading time for convenience versus you are creating the discipline now to, establish a better habit to go ahead and pack your food and bring it with you, because that's what's going to get you there. And a lot of people do not have that discipline. I mean, that's one thing that I see with clients that I help all the time. It's just they've not practiced that discipline enough to actually be able to use it and implement it, in their everyday life.
And then the comparison world. I love seeing the pictures of these women who I know are putting in the work. But my first thought is, I've been doing it for this long. Why does my body look different than that? And then everyone having the grace and realizing you can be putting in that work and doing it right. Your body is different than everyone else's body. And it takes that time. And personally, for me, a coach to say, tweak this, work this. Are you pushing yourself that hard? So in the comparison world and instant gratification world, I can totally get why health is tough to stay being a priority.
Well, I think we live in a world too where social media can be good and bad. We love seeing people win, but at the same time too, like you said, it's hard on your own self-belief when you see all these people getting better results than you and you're like, well, I'm doing the same thing. Why am I not getting and seeing success? But you are right. It's not a one size fits all. And Jenny just mentioned being 50 around that age is totally different than someone who's our age,
Mhm.
And I think it's learning about what your body needs in that season of life and really actually peeling back the layers and figuring out what your body needs and being intentional with what it needs now versus doing maybe what you did in the past. And I think we'll get into that, in the future. You got a couple of questions here, but I don't know. There's just something about just being and knowing what you need in that season of life and not getting anxious about it, just being patient. And like I said, developing that discipline.
Thank you so much for being 28 and still including me in the our age category. That has made my day, and I will hold on to that for a long time. So thank you for that. I do miss things starting with the 2 in the age. But you also, I get surprised. There's a lot of women in your group who are pregnant, and they're doing this pregnant through different phases, and I think that's amazing because God knows what your body's going through with that. So, and all ages are in those groups and those challenges. So that is very cool. So your Fiercely Fit community, over 6.8 thousand members. That is huge. And it is a very, very engaging community. You are on there all the time. People are on there all the time. It's a very positive place, which I do think is hard to keep created in today's world. So what do you think has made it such a powerful and engaging place?
Yeah, this is a great question. I think the value, when I started this group many years ago, I told myself like I really wanted it to be a safe place, but not only that, but also reliable. Like there is so much out there on the internet. We all know it. You can Google literally anything when it comes to nutrition and exercise and recipes and supplements and just all the things, but it's like you don't have any trust with what's out there on the internet, or at least I don't at all whatsoever. As a professional, I see the things that are put out there. I'm like, how can people believe this stuff? So when I started this community, I wanted it to be a safe place, but two, a place where people could come and actually find reliable, resources. And I also feel like that the people that are in there too, I always say the people make the party. So, I'm blessed that I have the amount of women that I do that come to that community and utilize it and encourage others. I mean, it's just so cool to see. Like, I have people from all over, not only the US, but all over the country and the world, like that are in that community that network and meet people, that might be in the same area that they are. They're getting coffee with each other, they're working out together. So it just truly, honestly, is incredible what, again, social media can do. It's good and it's bad. But I truly think the value and just, me being in that community, like I pour my heart and soul into that. I want people to be able to come to that and say, holy cow, like there's so many good and free resources here that I can start using today to help me on my health journey. So that was really initially the idea behind it. And it's grown so much. And I'm only hopeful we continue to grow because it is pretty cool to see, how far that we have gotten and become and how big we are.
Yeah, that's good. What do you think are the biggest mental roadblocks that women face when it comes to fitness and nutrition? And how do you help people get past those?
This is a tough question too, because I feel like there's a million different, directions I could go with this. But to name a few, I think lack of mental toughness being one, lack of patience, like we mentioned a while ago. And then I also think, too, the comparison, where you're comparing yourself to others or previous programs, like the results that you've gotten from doing, programs prior to joining my program. I'm a very no BS person. If you know anything about me, I am a very, straight shooter. But I think one of the biggest things that I do is trying to pour belief, into them, helping them truly buy in that they are capable of doing this. If you're signing up with me and you're wanting the quick fix that you got from maybe a prior program, then I'm not the coach from you. I'm a very straightforward person. My goal is to help you not only reach the goals you have with your health, but focus on longevity. That's why we're in this position, and that's why it's a hamster wheel and it's a vicious cycle, is because we constantly start and stop things that are not sustainable for us in our lifestyles. So I think pouring belief into them, helping them buy into the long haul, and it is the hardest thing, especially when they're comparing themselves back to previous programs, but just helping them understand why the long route, is better, why it's a better alternative than the other things, retraining their brain. I mean, I think about you, Jenny, and my mom, because my mom is your age, who did multiple different programs and was told her entire life that her worth was based on a number on the scale. And it's getting them away from that and allowing them to understand it. We got to be more patient with this process. You're trying to make this all happen overnight when the reality is you didn't gain weight, overnight either. So, and then back to the whole lack of mental toughness thing, I think it's just having a stronger mindset to, work yourself or make yourself prepare and be ready to fight the battle that it takes, to be able to show up every single day, day in and day out, to do the things that it takes to get you to your ultimate goal. So definitely mental toughness, lacking that, patience, and then the comparison trap too.
Yeah, well, I think people have to realize that this isn't you just get to where you want to be and you stop. Like, this is forever. I mean, this is as long as you can physically move. This is a forever thing. Like, you can't stop because you'll end up back where you were eventually over time. So
That it's so huge. Those three things, ding, ding, ding. And for me, like, I 100% agree with all of that. And some of the things I love about this community, this program you're coaching, is that you aren't just trying to collect people's money for a quick fix to make them feel good right now. You are a constant reminder of, if we are no longer together and you're no longer part of this community, are you making the choices for this to be a long-term thing? It is a lifestyle. It is not an immediate gratification right now. You just do these things to get where you want, and then it'll stay that way. And you are just at that constant reminder of, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're putting your hard workouts in there so people can see you aren't just saying these things. You are actually doing these things with everyone in this community. And I think that's huge. I think that makes a big difference. And again, just realizing it's a long haul. You're doing this. It's not just get this done so it's checked off the list. It's
Right.
This is now a part of my journey every day.
Right. Well, I think people want a lifestyle change, but they forget that it actually lasts the rest of your life. Like, why would you ever stop doing the things that got you to where you're at when that's what's going to continue to get you to where you want to be? I mean, we all want to live here and be here as long as possible. So it's just buying into that and knowing, like, 30 minutes a day to prioritize yourself and your health and learning how to fuel yourself with good food. It's really not that bad, but you've got to buy into it. You've got to be willing to sacrifice a little bit of time, like you said, convenience, to be able to make it the lifestyle change that you want for yourself.
And listeners, when she says she pours value into this free Facebook community group, I was a stalker before I was a participant. You would post things and I would listen, and I'm like, okay, because I was skeptical. I'm like, I've tried some things before. It's the people, it's me, everything's the same. I don't want to be, one of those fit people who does these things, whatever, all of this stuff. But then it was the free value. It was the free content. It was very educational. You get on there and, like, you could just tell the passion of it, and you just would share little tidbits. And I was like, oh my God, I've never thought of that. Just got me thinking in a different way. So guys, that value on there is free, and it is good stuff. So definitely, be a part of that Facebook group. So what's the most common misconception women have about fitness that you wish you could erase forever?
You probably know what I'm getting ready to say, but that the
I
scale determines
Yep.
all of your progress. Kind of going back to what I just said, but society has just brainwashed us and brainwashed women, of all ages, that the scale determines everything, determines your worth, determines your progress. It becomes our identity, and it's terrible. But I have a lot of women that come to me, kind of going back to what I said, trying to pour belief into them and making them retrain their brains so they understand that that scale doesn't matter, doesn't mean anything. And I think what's cool too, back in the day, again, I keep referring back to my mother, but she didn't lift weights. It was cardio and it was cutting out calories. We're in a world now, which is wonderful. Muscle is the organ of longevity. We are lifting weights now. We are prioritizing resistance training. It's not just what men do now, as women are doing it. So helping women understand that you're putting muscle on your body, and muscle weighs the same amount as body fat, but it's denser and it's going to look different on your body. So if there is one thing that I could do, it is to get women away from the idea that the scale tells the whole story, because it absolutely doesn't. And the more I can get women to buy into that and to believe that, the better. Their composition changes faster. They tend to lose weight a little bit faster too, because they finally get away from what's been holding them back for so long, thinking that they need to weigh what they weighed back in high school or pre-pregnancy weight. You guys, we're females. Our bodies change. We're not meant to be that, for the rest of our life. We have seasons of life that we go through. So if I could get rid of the scale period and tell people to just take photos and measurements, how you feel, your energy, those are all positive things. And I would much rather than prioritize that than the number on the scale.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Like, if we're not looking at the scale, I mean, we like to measure. I mean, we like to see, things change somehow or another. What would you suggest, would be, do we pay attention to how our pants feel? Or do we not just even pay attention to that?
So it's a really good question. And I hate saying not weigh yourself, because it is a way of measurement. Like, I still have my clients weigh. It will tell you some things, but I think at the end of the day, you got to have more than one way to measure that progress. I love progress photos. I mean, I post testimonials all the time of women's compositions. I know someone listening to this is probably like, there is no way I'm taking photos of myself, but here I
Ooh,
am.
it's the ugliest truth you can put in front of yourself, and it is the happiest proof you can see when you start seeing changes.
Absolutely. And so that's one way I would say, just because, like I said, muscle is denser than body fat. You're lifting weights, you're toning up everywhere, less cellulite. I mean, you are losing inches. I would measure, at least your waist and your hips, maybe your, thighs, specific areas, because you can't target body fat. Okay. You can't say, hey, I want my midsection to be gone, and poof, it's gone 2 months later. Reality is you're losing fat off your legs, your back, your arms, and you don't see that on the scale. It's not telling you that. So those are just a few ways I would encourage it. And then, yeah, too, weighing yourself. I mean, the reality is if you're not following the game plan, you're not doing it, and you're weighing yourself and it's just plateaued or it's up, then you're not at calorie deficit. You're not doing the things you need to do to get you to that point. So a lot of different ways to do it.
And it's all the things together. So weigh yourself to see, but then you have us measure, that app has us measure like our neck, our shoulders, our arms, our forearms, like all the way down our body, and then the progress pictures. So if that scale's not moving, but you see that measurement change, and then you see the tone in your body in those pictures, just learning that number on that scale is not as what should determine the happiness. Look at all of it together and see those changes and feel better.
Absolutely.
Because
go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say too, I know somebody's probably thinking, but I don't want to look like the Hulk. Well, here I am to tell you, it's gonna take a lot of calories and a long time to turn into the Hulk. So don't use the excuse, I'm not lifting weights and I'm not measuring progress that way, because I'm gonna come jacked like Ashtin, and I'm not even that jacked to begin with. But it's taken me 5 years to get to this point. So I just want to reiterate, like, you're not gonna turn into the Hulk overnight. You need muscle on your body. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn. I mean, just trust that. That's science.
Well, and muscle is what protects your bones too. I was listening to something before, and they talked about how people would say grandma fell and broke her hip. Well, did she break her hip and fall, or did she? I mean, more than likely she broke her hip and fell. And if we have the muscles protecting our bones, those things, especially as we age, are it's going to just help prevent those things from happening. So muscle, especially for women, is so important because we're more prone to, different type of bone issues getting older.
Absolutely. And I don't think anybody thinks about the long term. Everyone thinks about the now. I want to weigh X amount now. I just want to say, do you want kids? Do you want grandkids? What does that look like? Like, we're not training and doing this stuff for now. Granted, yeah, aesthetically wise, we want to look better. I'm looking out for you 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road. I want you to be able to lift up your grandkids, enjoy, not fall and break your hip, things like that. Like, I could give two shits right now what that looks like, and I know you do, and everybody wants to look a specific way, but at the end of the day, longevity, the long haul is the better route to go, so you do not and can prevent those injuries and live a longer and happier life.
Right.
Yeah. Going back a little bit, what I was going to say is, and I don't know for obviously men's clothing, I know for women's, but you get excited when you're a size 4 in a pair of pants and you go buy another pair of pants and size 4 doesn't fit. So now you're a size 9 and that number itself freaks you out. So different brands, it just always comes back to numbers. And you've said it many a times. I don't think we pay attention or focus on how we're feeling. We let those numbers kind of judge us first. So I love, love, love that you do not focus on that scale determining your worth and how much work you're putting in. And that is something that you do reiterate. So if someone is just starting out and feels overwhelmed, it is a lot. I know I have shared that with you a lot. What's the one thing they should do today to kickstart their journey?
That's a great question. And you could do a lot of different things. Like I said, there's so much out there on the internet that tells you what you should or shouldn't do. I think a lot of people struggle with nutrition. I mean, nutrition is the reason why we gain weight, in the first place. So I think some of the most fundamental things that you can do are one, cut out processed foods, limit yourself to maybe 2 a day. And what I mean by processed food is the convenience foods, the bags of chips, the cookies, the candies, the things we all know we don't need, donuts, but limit yourself. I'm not saying go balls to the wall and cut it all out, because then you are going to feel restricted. So I always tell my clients, limit yourself to about 2 a day, and then maybe move to 1 a day with the processed foods. I mean, you guys, it's life. We need to be able to eat that stuff and enjoy in moderation, but that is the type of foods and that is the type of things that are killing us. And that's just the reality. I would focus on whole foods. I'd focus on fruits, vegetables, potatoes, rice, lean meats. Just prioritize more food you need into your diet, without, again, cutting out, all the other things that you really enjoy at the beginning. And then you can get even more dialed in. Or another thing too, which Megan will get a kick out of this, I always say stop going out to eat as much. Limit yourself to maybe 1 or 2 times a week. That's another thing. We're trading convenience for time. We have got to start cooking more in our homes. Like, plain and simple. You can control what you're putting into your mouth at home. You cannot control, you do not know what is going into those foods that you're picking up through the drive-thru conveniently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, first of all, the word moderation is huge because, again, you do always promote enjoy life when it's a birthday, when it's a celebration, anniversary, go out and get that meal, that place that you like. But moderation, you cannot do it every meal all the time. But you also say don't hate yourself for doing that. Just know that you have to get right back on track. I remember Ashtin asked me, she's like, so I saw you didn't eat out as much this week because I made one of my wins and I only ate out like 3 times that week. She's like, so what, how often do you usually eat out if you had to calculate it? I'm like, every meal, lunch and dinner is eaten out. But I justify it by like, oh, it's McAllister's or it's the grilled nuggets at Chick-fil-A. So I thought I was the epitome of making good choices when I started getting grilled nuggets instead of the fried nuggets. But I look back and I giggle, but for my journey, that was a huge step for me, going from a Diet Dr. Pepper and fried nuggets to an unsweet tea and grilled nuggets. And honestly, that is how it slowly started in my journey. Just knew I had to go to the next level. But like you said, it's grilled nuggets. We have no idea what they cook that in. We have no idea what it's a part of. And then now I have to click this button on my app when I eat out, and I really don't want to click that button. So it's kind of become a game for me of like, oh, I've done so good. I really don't want to click that button. What's in my fridge that I can eat? So it's different for everyone, but does have to be a choice that you want to do. So what?
I know for me, it's best that I try to do several small meals during the day. So, because I think a lot of people, when they eat till they get full. But for me, I eat roughly about 6 times a day where, I'm never super hungry. I'm just eating those small meals. So,
Protein.
I don't know. And protein definitely. Yeah. But I don't know, what you suggest. I mean, I guess it could be different for everybody, but whether the small meals,
Right. Yeah, the portion size is great. I think it's wonderful. You are right. I mean, I think back to when I was eating, like I said, in college, and I just eat until I was stuffed. There was no like
Mhm.
breathing room left,
Yeah.
unbuttoning my pants. Like, I really truly like think back and I have that feeling internally of how miserable I was when I used to just stuff myself. I mean, a lot of women your age too, Jenny, they don't eat enough. I mean, for so long you've been taught eat less, move more. Reality is when you're that age and your hormones, you got things working against you, you got to make sure you're fueling your body with enough. So it's not a one size fits all, but I do think, like you said, to keep your blood sugar stable, that's another thing, we could sit here and talk about all day long. Keep your blood sugar stable at your age with your hormones, eating more frequently, but just having smaller meals is a great option too.
Right.
And that's what I was going to go into our next step, a common mistake people make with nutrition and how they can fix it. Learning about what protein does and its importance has been a game changer. And you learn it, you hear it, you see it, and then you implement it and you're like, holy crap, it's dumb how simple, not always easy,
Mhm.
it is by just prioritizing protein and stuff.
Yeah, you're so right. That's one of the biggest things that I see women struggle with when they come in. I started out eating 30 grams of protein myself, and now I eat my goal weight, 130 grams a day. Like, you would think that, oh my gosh, this is impossible. And it probably was at the beginning because I
Mhm.
had no idea what I was doing or how to implement it more, but it's so true. I mean, anyone who implements more protein, we've all had a good day, we've all had a bad day where our energy's higher, we feel better, our blood sugar's stable, we're not moody, we're not as hungry. I think I already mentioned that. And then we've had a bad day, the opposite end of the spectrum, where we've eaten nothing other than carbs and fats and lack of protein. And we know we're moody, we're tired, we have those, it's like a roller coaster of, energy and emotions throughout your day. So when you can prioritize that, yeah, it's insane, like how much better that you'll start feeling.
It's also impressive of how much you still get to eat. I asked a question because I think my goal right now is at 120 grams of protein. And I was like, do you just eat when you're not hungry? It's like, I'm not hungry. I need to be eating more. And I never thought throughout this process that would be some feedback I'd be getting. Is like, well, you need to be eating more, obviously with the right things and of protein, but it takes a while to get there because you don't realize when you
Yeah.
prioritize that, you get full. And I would stay full longer. And I still had like half of my protein goal to go. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not hungry.
So what is we're talking about food. What's your guilty pleasure, Ashton? I mean, what is that thing that you just don't want to give up?
Definitely chips and salsa. If I go to a Mexican restaurant, like, I don't even want to know the amount of tortillas that I eat as a whole because I could sit there and eat 4 baskets of chips and salsa. So, it's my favorite snack, and salsa is
Felt.
really not that bad for you, but I literally could light up a whole bag of chips and salsa. So that's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, mine is chocolate ice cream. I
Yeah.
love chocolate ice cream, and I'm really doing good on it. Not like not having it, but every now and then I just have to have some, and I think that's probably okay
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
now and
Every
then.
now and then. Oh, chips and salsa and queso.
Mhm.
That's a good one. There's a reason they're not bringing a bag of celery sticks out to eat with that
Yeah.
salsa. It's because those chips are so good. So you had mentioned kind of your protein goals and your guilty pleasure. What is your personal? I don't want people to compare because you have been working on this for a very long time. But what does your personal fitness routine look like, and like non-negotiables in your daily routine that you prioritize?
Yeah, so I definitely train 4 to 5 times a week. Now, like I said a while ago, there's different seasons for everything. Right now, I'm in a season, I coach softball, I'm busier. I mean, I work basically 2 40-hour jobs. So with that, I give myself grace, right? So I train probably maybe 3 to 4 times versus 4 to 5. So that's my biggest thing of what I've found has worked for me. There is going to be times where you can devote and commit more time to working out, your schedule, your routine. And then there's going to be times where you're prioritizing something else, but that doesn't mean that you can't shift your schedule and your regimen and your routine to still, work for you. So right now we haven't gotten into the thick of games yet, but mine's 4 or 5 times a week. I'm resistance training. It probably will end up being 3 or 4, in the next couple of weeks. And then I do try and get some type of cardio in a day, whether it's walking, half a mile, or I always say walk a mile a day if you can, instead of 10K steps, which I know right now I'm doing a challenge to get more steps in. Do something that's realistic for you. I think so often we try and say, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to work out 4 times. I'm going to walk 10K steps. I'm going to, do X, Y, and Z. And you can't commit to that. I mean, there's just no possible way. So you got to find what works for you. And for me, it's training X amount of days, getting steps in. And then some of my non negotiables are water every single day. A dehydrated cell is a horrible cell. A happy cell is hydrated. Movement, whether that is a walk, whether that is resistance training, Supplements, depending on the season of life I'm in, whether I need to prioritize my stress, whether I need to prioritize, filling the gaps with protein or, I don't know, vitamin D, vitamin C, things like that. And then sleep. So water, movement, supplements, and sleep. Some people are going to think sleep is crazy, but guys, as females, sleep is imperative. You need to be getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night. And if not, you're not going to be worth a lick. And I promise you, your weight loss is going to stall because you're not prioritizing sleep and recovery.
Yeah, let's talk about water a minute. So, I mean, I constantly have water with me. And that's my goal is to drink more water. And so I have like this big, huge cup, and I drink about 2 of those a day. I probably need to drink more. I mean, what can you do to drink more besides, living your life sipping on the cup and in the bathroom?
That's how you do it.
It's
Here's your
like
sign.
That's your sign. That's what you do. You sip on the cup and then you go to the bathroom a lot, and that's how you get your steps in too, Jenny. We just went full circle for you.
It's like that's all I'm doing is drinking and going to the bathroom, drinking, going to the bathroom.
We were in the basement last night for the storms. I said, well, I'm going to get hit by a tornado anyway because I'm up in the bathroom every 30 minutes going pee.
Actually,
Run back
I thought that
downstairs.
too. I was like, I could go to the bathroom, but I'm not getting taken away by a tornado. So one thing I encourage my clients to do is habit stack. I'm huge on stacking habits. So all of us have a habit of brushing our teeth at night. Okay. And if you don't brush your teeth at night, that's gross. But usually in the morning we get up and we go to the bathroom. So what I tell a lot of my clients who lack water, drink a glass of water first thing in the morning when you get up. Habit stack that with going to the bathroom. No, it sounds weird. I set my water bottle next to my phone in the bathroom because for any of you that hit snooze in the morning, it's because your phone's right next to you. Put your phone in a different room, it'll make you get your feet on the floor, go and turn your alarm off, and then you can start your routine that way. So that is one thing I would suggest doing is habit stacking. Granted, you're still going to have to probably go to the bathroom pretty frequently, but to get more water in, I always say, what are you already doing throughout your day that you can stack water on top of? So once you get 16 ounces of water, down in the morning, that's 16 more ounces than you had throughout your day, because you didn't even think about drinking water until 8 o'clock in the morning after you've spent an hour and a half getting ready. You're already dehydrated, in the morning too. So you need water first thing, not coffee. I'm a caffeine freak too, but water, water, water. I put like protein in my water, the Formula One Clear. It's an easy way to make water taste differently. You can even mix it with like a sparkling water. So it kind of gives you like a different, taste. I consider that, getting water into. So there's a lot of different things that you could do. One last thing I'll mention is electrolytes. If you're just drinking water constantly, your body's like a floodgate. You have nowhere for it to go, so you're constantly peeing it out. So introduce electrolytes in the morning so your body actually stores that water into your cells and hydrates you versus just constantly, peeing it out because you got nowhere where else for it to go. So habit stack, find things you're already doing, add water on top of that, maybe 1 glass, at night before you go to bed. Granted, you'll probably be up more throughout your night, but, you kind of just have to figure out where you can get more in because we all have time throughout our day. Just a matter of figuring out when we can fit it in with stuff that we're already doing. So it's not a chore for you to do.
What are your thoughts on alkaline water? And that's why I smiled so big when Jenny mentioned water, because for like 3 years, you think this girl had stock in alkaline water. She was pushing alkaline water so much.
I think there's pros to it. There's a lot of research that's been done on it. I don't know if there's any correlation to any more benefits than that. I have clients that drink it some too. I think water is water. I don't care if it's tap water, bottled water,
Just
whatever you can do, just drink it, because I know some people rely so much on their coffee, caffeine, Diet Cokes that they think they're drinking a lot of water and they're not. Like they have no idea.
Tracking it makes a big difference. For me personally, and I had one of those big Stanley cups, and I think it's one of the sizes Jenny has now. I couldn't carry that with me. It was so big. It was so luggy. I never got to refill it up, so I don't feel like I was doing anything with it. I know Ashtin does it too. So it just mentally helped me. I've got a 24-ounce one. It's cute. It's small. I can carry it easier. And for some reason, I gamify it. When I get down to the bottom of it, I get to tick off it's another 24 ounces. I get to fill it up, and I feel like I'm doing something. So that was just a small mental shift for me that made a difference. I got to feel like I was doing something. So, but that was like one of the first things I started prioritizing or changing. And again, you hear it all the time and you get mad because everyone's right about it. Your brain fog, your energy. It is amazing what just drinking more water does for you. And like you said, you think you're drinking enough, track it, and then really see if it's anywhere close to what you think it is.
Yep, you got it.
So if you could only do one type of workout for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Definitely back day. I don't know why. I just
Love
love
back day.
upper body day.
Yeah.
I hate cardio. I hate legs. I'm an upper body girl. I know girls are usually the opposite. They usually like legs. I just like, lifting weights with my arms and my back. And I always say when you got to snatch back, you look like you have a smaller waistline. So that's what I've always done.
I remember you saying that to make that waist look thinner, we got to make those shoulders look bigger.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
It is surprises me every day how much I do enjoy lifting weights because I'm not a runner. Would not run, not a big fan. I think of what I'm realizing is more cardio, so lifting weights is impressive.
What is one piece of advice you'd give women listening who really feel stuck right now in their fitness journey?
Yeah, this is a good one too. I would probably say you're stronger than you think you are, and you're more capable than you think you are, and you can do more than you think you can do. I think, women, we tend not to have a lot of belief in ourselves. I mean, we do, I'm not saying walk around real cocky like you got it all going on, but some of that matters. Like having a little bit of swagger that you're capable of doing it, I mean, with your career too. Like when you're confident and excited about stuff and you have belief in yourself, you're going to go a hell of a lot further than just feeling like, well, I might do it, I might dabble in it. I'm all about if you're going to commit to something, commit to it, do it. Do not give up no matter what that looks like. You have to give yourself that non-negotiable, because as soon as you start making as soon as you start making excuses for stuff, you're never going to be able to stick to it. So you're stronger than you think you are. You can do more than you think you can. And as women, I feel like for so long, maybe society has made us feel like, oh, you can't do X, Y, and Z because you have to do motherly things and chores and all of that. And I think that's total crock. Like you can do anything. You just have to believe in yourself, and then you cannot give up on yourself and make it a non-negotiable.
Yeah, and
Good advice.
Our last episode, we kind of talked about that a lot, what women kind of experience being the mom and the nurturer of the house. And I know there are people listening right now. I don't have that time for myself to do that. How could I do that with all these kids? And you had mentioned kids and chores and all that stuff. You had mentioned previously, find one thing that is realistic for you and then have it stack on that.
Yep.
Because you and your body are worth having that time and effort put into it. Because if you are a mom with these kids, what are they seeing and learning from you? How much more are you going to be able to do with them and feel better doing it? So mentioning all of those things, I think were wonderful. So where can our listeners find and connect with you?
So I have a lot of different social media platforms, but it's all the same. Ashtin Seton Fit, Ashtin with an I, not an O. You can do Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Like I said, try and pour a lot of, time, energy, and effort into my social media so people can take, value away from it and implement it. And then also the Facebook community, which is the Fiercely Fit page. It should pop up when you search that too.
And we will get that all links connected to the episode so people can find it easier. So what's next for you and Fiercely Fit? Any exciting projects or goals coming up?
There's always something going on, I can't never just be comfortable. We got to keep doing stuff. But no, it is truly cool. So Fiercely Fit, we are 3 years old, which is crazy. And we are expanding this year. So I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. And it's going to be great. I'm not going to announce everything, but one thing I will say is my future husband is also a gym freak too. We have been so blessed to be able to do this journey together and transform both of our lives mentally and physically. He actually is going to launch his own workouts and coaching program too. So for all my males out there who, need to get their butts into gear and do it to help support their spouse, he is entering the picture too, because I do coach all women and have a lot of women whose spouses need that help. So he's going to be kind of their person for that. So
that makes total sense. I had thought that many times. I'm like, I wonder how long until Jordan, right? Is your fiance's name? Is
Yep.
going to start doing this for the guy side of it because it just seemed like the most natural fit. So when you kind of did a sneak peek of that, I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And it makes a huge difference when
Yep.
your partner who you're with all the time, who always wants to go out to eat, might be speaking from experience, is on board with some of the health journey stuff as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. Ashton, we're going to kind of wrap this up, but I tell you, I love your no BS attitude. I think that's just what people need to hear. I wish you all the success in everything that you're doing. It was so great to have you for a guest today, and look forward to seeing Megan's journey. I really liked it. It's been amazing for her, and I don't tell her enough how great she's looking, and how proud I am of her. So, and I know you're a huge part of that. So thank you for that.
Jenny's probably just upset I don't leave every day for an hour and a half for lunch anymore. She's probably like, get this girl out of the office, go get some Jason's Deli.
That's awesome. Well, thank you both so much for having me. It was
No,
such a pleasure to talk to both of you.
No, I am going to shout from the rooftops to make sure everyone knows about this program and community, because it is a lot different than anything I think a lot of women have been out there looking for before. And you're amazing, and it is awesome. So thank you again so much for being here today, and everyone else for listening. Be sure to follow us and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Stay connected with us on social media. We want to hear from you. Let us know what you learned from today's episode. Use the hashtag KickItUpANotchPodcast. And until next time, let's keep working together to kick it up a notch in everything that we do. Have a good
Kick It Up a Notch is all about real talk and real stories, but we're not doctors, lawyers, financial advisors, or therapists. We're just two business owners having fun, sharing experiences, and hopefully sparking some inspiration. So don't take anything we say as professional advice. Always do your research and consult the experts when needed. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Kick It Up a Notch. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Until next time, keep reaching higher and kicking it up a notch.